What's going on, Canes fans, and welcome to episode number 11 in the Walking and Venting with Coop series. And just in case you're new here, the series is exactly what it sounds like it is. I walk along the edge of my property as I vent about a very hot topic when it comes to the Miami Hurricanes. And we're just out here in nature, so we got to roll with it. There's a huge group of crows, and apparently there's some kind of turf war going down between them or some kind of nonsense right now. Obviously they don't care that Coop is in the middle of filming a video, so if you hear them in the background, that's what's going on. It's getting wild out here. But man, do I have a hot one, a juicy one for you guys this afternoon. And I'm gonna have to put a couple of disclaimers on this one. But I also want to let you know that you are free to speak your mind in my comment section, because that's how we do things here on the Coach Coop YouTube channel. Now, what I want to talk about is the players coming together and standing up and defending head coach Manny Diaz after the Duke game. And in case you're not over on Twitter, I actually want to share with you guys some tweets that the players put out. And the disclaimer that I want to mention here is that I don't want to see you guys running over to Twitter to throw shade at these players, because at the end of the day, I support these players. They had multiple offers on the table, at least for many of them, and they chose to wear this orange and green, to rep this U on their chests. So I fully support the players, and I am happy to see them take a stand on something, but I want to make it known that it's okay to disagree with them. We can disagree with Miami Hurricanes players and it be out of love and care for their future and for the future of this program. So with that being said, let me share with you guys, because not everybody has Twitter accounts, guys. So maybe you've seen this floating around and maybe you haven't. But let me share some of the tweets with you guys. I wrote it on a Post-it note so that way we can go over each of them, and there's going to be some that I missed, but these are just a few of the ones that I pulled. So right after the Duke game, again, a lot of the players came together and tweeted out support for Manny Diaz. So here is Tyler Van Dyke's tweet. Love my teammates and love playing for these coaches. And they all tagged Manny Diaz. That's the thing, they all tagged him. At Coach Manny Diaz is building something special. This is just the beginning. Now that was from Tyler Van Dyke, QB numero uno. Next up is Charleston Rambo. Beyond thankful for head coach Manny Diaz. So glad to come play here at the U. I love this team and culture. Now what I'm probably going to do, I don't usually edit these videos. I like to keep them raw because that's just kind of the vibe for this series. But I am going to pop up the tweets on the screen just so you guys know that I'm not making these things up. Next up on the list, another big-time player for the Canes, Will Mallory. He tweets out after the Duke game, proud to be a part of this team. Proud to be led by head coach Manny Diaz. Love these guys. And it doesn't stop there. Next up is Corey Flagg Jr. He tweeted out, great team win. I love this team and I love these coaches. Head coach Manny Diaz is building something special here. And as I said, I missed a couple. There were more than that, but those were just some of the big ones that I saw. So let's talk about this for a minute. A bunch of the players coming together, specifically tagging Manny Diaz after the game to show their love and support for him. Because you know they see the outside noise. They're on social media, guys. They're 18, 19, 20 years old. They're on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. So they see the hate being thrown at Manny Diaz, and they know that the fans want changes. But a lot of the players at the University of Miami love Manny Diaz. They've been very vocal about it. Go back and look at the Corey Flagg Jr. interview at one point post-game. He straight up said, I don't like the way y'all talk about my coach. That's my guy. So they came together and defended him. Now, there are talks that this was all put together by Manny Diaz. Basically in the locker room after the game, that he was like, you know, you guys need to come together, maybe show me some love on social media to try to help save his job. And I'm just going to be straight up blunt and honest with you guys. I think that that's a load of baloney. let's be real here. Even if you dislike Manny Diaz, and I'm one of those people that wants him fired, I want him gone. We'll talk about it later in the video. I do not think that a head coach in the locker room post-game says, hey guys, if you could you tweet out some love and support for me to maybe help me out a little bit, because I'm getting a lot of hate, and maybe if you guys stood together and showed that you want me to stay, they won't fire me. I'm going to be real. There are going to be people in the comment section that tell me I'm wrong, but I find that highly unlikely. What I think is more realistic here is the players coming together and deciding to do this. I can absolutely see a group of the players saying, you know what? We love Manny. We don't want to see him go. We don't want things to change. So, hey guys, let's all come together and just tweet out some love for our head coach, because that's our guy. We like him. That's a much more realistic scenario. However, it did create quite a situation whenever former Miami Hurricane Brevin Jordan, he needs no introduction. We all know who Brevin Jordan is. He tweets out, public stunt. Now, maybe you could argue he was referring to something else, or, maybe it's coincidence, but it's not. He's been very blunt and open about it, and he feels like that was something that somebody put together to try to save Manny's job, and he's seeing through the BS. So that really stirred the pot a lot and got fans arguing amongst themselves, which we do already all the time. But then it got fans and players arguing back and forth. And I'm going to be honest, I hate to see that. Because here's the deal. What I was talking about earlier in the video is that we can disagree with the players and we can be very critical of them. But we can also do it in a way that's not degrading to them. That's more out of love. It's us looking out for them and their future. Because at the end of the day, a lot of us are 30, 40, 50 years old. We've been through a lot of things in life. And yeah, we're in totally different situations than they are. But still, we're doing it out of love to try to think about them and their future. So you have to approach it differently than just throwing F-bombs and calling them names and telling them that they're stupid because they want to keep Manny Diaz. There's a lot of reasons why they could want to keep Manny Diaz, but I feel like a lot of it, I'm going to be honest, is them just not looking outside the box and thinking ahead when it comes to their careers. Because I think what the situation is here, and guys, this is a lot of assuming, and that's why I said there's going to be a lot of disclaimers in this video. I'm assuming big time, and you know what happens a lot of times when you assume, and I'm being blunt and honest about it before I dive into this. But I think that for a lot of the players, maybe they just don't want to start over again. Think about some of the guys, some of the players at Miami that have went through like 2 and 3 offensive coordinators, 2 and 3 head coaches, complete rebuilds, totally different staff. That kind of pulls you out of your comfort zone a little bit. And I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, Coop, these guys are athletes. They're in a totally different position than you. What are you talking about? But I'm just saying, as human beings in general, strip away the being a college athlete and all these other various different variables. Human nature, we like things to be the same. We like to get comfortable, and we don't like to step outside of our comfort zone a lot. So what happens is they don't want to change their whole workout routine. They don't want somebody to come in and coach them totally differently. Even if, and this is where we come in as fans, even if it could be better for their future. So I feel like that's one reason why they might be kind of, defending Manny. And number 2, and this is more of a bad one. I'm just going to be honest and blunt. The point of these videos is hot topics. So they're very debatable, and it's things that people don't want to talk about and are usually uncomfortable talking about. And that's fine. That's what the series is. I feel like another reason why they might defend him is because that's their buddy, not their coach. There are a lot of talks about Manny Diaz being more of a player's coach, and he's possibly not as hard on them as he should be or could be. And I feel like it kind of becomes, that's my friend, that's my buddy, not that's my head coach. And a lot of them refer to him as Manny, not as coach. And I think that speaks volumes. I'm just being honest with you guys. And I think that there are actually even players on the squad that if we said, okay, there are changes coming, guys. And we know you're going to lose your buddy Manny, but we're going to bring in a proven head coach, a guy that has a history of winning. And it's going to be Nick Saban. Now, I know, insert your LOLs and stuff. That obviously would never happen. Just play hypothetical for me for a second. What I'm getting at is there are players on this team that would be against bringing Nick Saban in and would transfer out when he came in. Why? Because it's going to be someone totally different with a different type of routine that's going to coach them different, and it's going to be a change. And it's possible that they don't want that. And there's also, guys, here's the other argument. Even though we feel like that if we get rid of Manny, it's going to be a huge improvement and a big time upgrade, there's still a lot of uncertainty there, guys. Guess what? Al Golden was also going to be a huge upgrade and take us to the promised land. What happened with that? Mark Richt was going to be a huge upgrade and take us to the promised land. Did we make a miracle run in 2017? Yes. Did we make it to the ACC championship game? Sure. But then we got smashed. And then what happened? It started going downhill. Manny Diaz. This is going to be great. He's going to take us to the national championship, I believe. He's young, he's enthusiastic, he loves Miami. And where are we at? So anytime you bring in an entirely new coaching staff, there's so much uncertainty there. And I feel like that scares a lot of the players. They don't want to go through all that again. So I'm saying that I see their point of view. But I'm also saying, once again, that we as fans, even though we're not in their shoes, also want the best for this program, for this football team. We want to see these guys be successful. We want to see this team as a whole be successful. And you can also stand firm in the paint and say, I want Manny Diaz gone for X amount of reasons, whatever your reasoning may be. I'm going to go ahead and just be blunt. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. I've been vocal about it. You guys already know. I want Manny Diaz gone today, yesterday. I think the moves make sense to kind of wait a little bit because it lowers the buyout and all these various different things. And I get that. But I do want Manny Diaz gone 100%. The argument here, guys, that everyone makes, and I've even seen some of the players make this argument, bro, is that we're this close to being 10-2. Okay. All right, sure. You can make that argument. You can plug it down in the comment section. But guess what? It is just as easy to argue and say that we're this close to being 3-9. Oh, Coop, I can't believe you went there. What if this and but that? That's life, bro. Life is a bunch of what ifs. What if this happened? What if this went down? What if Borregales had made the kick? What if we had stopped the 4th and 14? But again, you can argue just as much the other way, guys. The reason I want Manny Diaz gone is much bigger than just purely wins and losses. It's the lack of preparation continuously. And I've said it many times. I've stood in the paint and argued for Manny Diaz and told you guys, give him time. I was arguing that as recently as 6 months ago, maybe even 4 months ago. But my eyes have been opened. You can't, oh geez, see, this video is about to be like a 20-minute plus video, so sit tight and buckle up for a few minutes. Literally, guys, we beat Pitt, and Pitt is going to be representing the Coastal in the ACC championship game. We beat that team. So, well, Coop, we beat a ranked NC State, and we did beat Pitt, but we also lost to North Carolina and Virginia. You know what we lack? Consistency, being prepared, and that will not change under head coach Manny Diaz. It just won't. And that's why I'm sick and tired of it, and I'm done with it. And I am willing to pull the plug only at year 3. I don't see that improving. Oh, yeah, again, like I said, we did beat some ranked teams, and that's huge. But we're not consistent with any of it. And especially defensively, Manny Diaz has even said he's not willing to give up calling the defense. He doesn't regret making that move at all, and he thinks it was the right decision. With that being said, I sure as heck don't want him here in 2022. Heck no. I want nothing to do with that. So I understand, back to the players, I've made reasons and given you reasons as to why that they might be defending him. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm way off in left field, and maybe it has nothing to do with any of that. And maybe Manny Diaz or some of the position coaches did approach players because they're trying to save their jobs. It's possible. Nothing's impossible, so it could be the case. But I just find that highly unlikely. I think it's more players just not wanting to go through all of those changes again and uproot everything that they have going for them right now on taking a chance that another coaching staff might take them to the next level. Because, you know, maybe it is Mario Cristobal. Doesn't guarantee he's going to win games at Miami. Maybe it is Lane Kiffin. Yeah, he's got a high-powered offense. He's a QB whisperer. But maybe he comes to Miami and we tank even more. I'm just putting it out there. It's possible. But I will say the clock is ticking. And when it comes to firing Manny Diaz and bringing in a new athletic director and an entirely new staff, time is our biggest enemy. Because if we wait too long, it's going to be slim pickings, guys. I realize that Florida's probably going to be offering Napier, so that's someone we're not even interested in anyways. But LSU's on the table, USC, and then any other school that potentially fires their coach at the end of the year. So we don't want to take sloppy seconds or thirds or fourths, right? So time is of the essence. But also, we can't move too quickly and rush the hire and get the wrong guys. So time is absolutely our biggest enemy. And it is one of the arguments for retaining Manny. A lot of people say, let's wait because we're competing with a lot of other big schools to hire a head coach right now and an AD. Let's bring in the AD, keep him for a year. His buyout will be even lower. And then we can evaluate next year. But here's my counter argument to that. Who's to say there's not even more big schools looking for head coaches next year? It takes us back to the what if argument. What if? We don't know the future. What I do know is right now, there are higher ups that are willing to push more money into the football program, into athletics in general. We've already kick-started the change by bringing in an athletic director. With that being said, let's go ahead and clean house. Yes, everyone. I'm not retaining T-Rob. I'm not retaining, plug any coach in right there that's currently in the staff. Can you guys hear these crows? Man, they are at war back there. Plug any coach in there. I'm sorry, clean house. We need a completely clean slate and a different mindset at the University of Miami. So I think that I've made all the points I wanted to make. I warned you guys this series would be hot topics, and I think this season it has been. And at the same time, I really enjoyed these conversations, guys. I have. Just keep in mind that we can agree to disagree, and it's okay to have different opinions. In my walking and venting last week, go look. You'll probably find the top comment is some dude who typed me out a whole paragraph, and he said, F you, Coop, and I'm going to find you and beat you up and all these various different things. Bro, to me, you want to know what's soft? People say, Coop, I would meet up and fight you, but you're too soft because you won't meet me and throw hands. Do you want to know what's soft? Trying to physically fight me over an opinion when talking about football. That, my friend, is soft because you can't man up and have a conversation, a one-on-one with words. Because you know how I ended the confrontation with that guy, going back and forth, the debate? At the end of it, after he typed everything out, I said, you know what, bro? We can agree to disagree, but I will say that I respect your opinion because I know it's out of love for the University of Miami. And that's how I ended that conversation. Just man up and talk with people. Don't go for personal insults and things like that. Let's keep it about football. But again, I guess that's really all I have to say. It's such an interesting time right now because there are big changes that are happening regardless because we have a new AD coming in. But we're at a very big turning point or critical, how do I word this? We're just at a very critical, crucial time for the University of Miami because we either take the leap of faith and we make these big time changes and cross our fingers and pray and hope that everything works out, or we take our chances on keeping everyone for the most part. Obviously, you know, we're going to have to hire in, you know, a new OC and all these various things. And then we ride out 2022 and then we reevaluate everything going into 2023 and make changes at that point. I know one thing. I'm glad I'm not at the top making these choices. I don't want people coming for my head. I'm just a crazy Canes fan who speaks my mind and my opinion on YouTube, and people watch my videos and we talk about it. So it don't come down to me. I'm not making the choice. I'm not writing the check. I'm not signing the papers. I'm not conducting the interviews. It ain't on me. I'll just react to whatever they decide to do. So we've actually got it easy, guys. Really, we do. Other than the pain and suffering when they make the wrong decisions, right? But just know that it's not all the players that support Manny, but there is a group that definitely wants to keep him there. But also keep in mind that there's a lot more pieces of the pie when it comes to a football program. And the players, you know, are just one piece of that pie. We also have the coaching staff. We also have the higher-ups that call shots and other various things. So we can't keep... We just because one piece of the pie is 12 pieces, bro. So just because one group or one piece of the pie wants to keep Manny doesn't mean that all of a sudden we all have to say, okay, well, we have to keep Manny then because they like him and they want him. There's also the players that don't, and there's also the players that, regardless of who the head coach is, everybody, this is the way I'm ending, guys. This is over 20 minutes, bro. Thank you guys for watching it this far. I want to end with this. People tell me that we can't fire Manny because the players have not given up on Manny. And obviously there's a large group of them that haven't because of we see the tweets. But you also have to understand that if I put myself in some of those players' shoes, if I'm playing at the University of Miami, I don't care who the head coach is. I don't like losing. So every Saturday I am strapping up and competing. You know what I'm playing for? This orange and green, this U. I don't care who the head coach is. It could be your grandma for all I care. Yes, I went there. I'm still giving my all every Saturday. So there are players, guys, that you might mistake it for them playing for Manny Diaz, and it's them just competing because they want to compete and they don't like losing. That's what athletes do. But don't get it twisted. There are some that are playing for Manny. I'm just putting it out there. All right? So, wow. Hopefully you guys can answer some of the questions that I asked during this video because I know I was all over the place. This might be the last Walking and Venting with Coop. I don't know. Maybe we continue this into the off season because I don't get outside much, guys. Look at me. I'm pale as a ghost. So, it's nice to get out here in nature and talk a little bit. And you know what I better not see in the comment section, though? We can disagree and we can debate all you guys want. I better not see a single person making fun of my glow-in-the-dark alien head Vans. Alright, I'm weird when it comes to shoes. I'm definitely a shoe guy, fun fact. I better not see any trash talk about my glow-in-the-dark Vans, okay? But, man, we got a bowl game coming up in a couple weeks, guys. Lots of things happening over the next few weeks. Exciting times for Miami Hurricanes fans. Remember, though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family. But at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. I'll see y'all in the next one.